Hello and welcome to the program Preventive Health on CRBC Radio 105.5 Clement. Of course, you do know that the program helps us to know how to prevent certain diseases. Here we dwell on examination and screening tests for certain diseases. Today, we'll look at renal profile, otherwise called kidney test. And I have in the studio Mr. Sunday Clement, certified lifestyle expert, Harvard Medical School, Boston, an associate member, American Institute of Lifestyle Medicine. He's from Asiupo Diagnostic and Medical Center, opposite College of Health Technology, Calabar. Sir, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Experts say you will prolong your life if you don't smoke, if you do regular exercise, and if you eat lots of vegetables and fruits.
Yes, prevention, we always say, is better than cure, which is why we're here again. And today we'll be looking at renal profile. We'll begin to find out what is renal profile.
Renal profile, as the word renal means kidney. So when we talk about renal profile, literally what it means is the kidney profile. What makes up the kidney? As you know that every human has a kidney, and kidney is very important, and it plays a vital role in expelling different kinds of waste products out of the blood. The kidney has a filter, so the blood that flows around the body goes to the kidney as well, and it has a kind of filter. It filters out those things that are not needed in the body or are in excess. It filters it out and finds a way of pushing it out of the system through urination. So, but as important as it is, people don't know that there are certain things that makes up the kidney. What the profile means that there are certain tests that needs to be done that shows the status of each person's kidney. So that is what the renal profile is about.
We went out to the streets in Calabar to find out how well the public know about the kidney. This is what we got.
It's a vital body organ. In which without it, we cannot function well. It's part of the body organ that we need to have it to be in good condition.
The function of the kidney is, to my own knowledge, is to help breathe very well and live very healthy. It helps in keeping the body, as in the body immune system, intact. It helps to transplant blood, and it also helps to build up the body systems. The kidney simply is a filtration unit. That's what it does. The various liquid that gets into the system are filtered by the kidney. What you see like urine we have in there, it doesn't just come out like that. It gets in through the kidney, and so it filters it, and then you get out there. So generally it's like a filtration unit.
To my own understanding, majorly kidney is like it's an organ in the human body that like a kind of filters the blood, as in make a major role in the body.
The kidneys are a very important organ in the human body. In fact, there are two of them, and they're used to expel waste substances in the body, especially uric acid, which is also urine.
Well, I believe kidney is one of the number one organ in the human system that keep humans stronger, healthy.
So can you give us tips on how one can care for it? It depends on what the food you eat.
Maybe by exercising yourself. Take a very good break for yourself. You don't walk yourself to death. Maybe while walking, you should create a time for yourself to be raised, just like normal machine. The machine will work, and there's a time you have to raise the machine to raise for some time before you can take it back to work.
Keeping the kidney healthy sometimes, at least stop smoking, stop drinking, and excess of alcohol. That's just my own opinion.
You will know the food you eat, especially alcohol. Because when you drink excess of alcohol, it can damage your kidney. There are things you need to do, living a healthy life, eating what you're supposed to eat, and staying away from what you're not supposed to be taking. So you don't put the kidney under pressure. Of course, some of the life we live, alcoholics, taking the why
Why do you take? Don't get drunk every time. Take what you need to take. Even the drinks you take, the alcoholic drink you take. Have you taken time to check the alcoholic content? Why do you take a drink that is so harsh in your system you don't like it? But generally, there are things we need to do. Obey.
Taking care of the kidney involves cutting down on excessive alcohol intake and stopping all bad habits like smoking and the rest, and avoiding intake of junk food, which is actually very poisonous in the human body.
By eating balanced diets, having all the 6 classes of, that we should drink enough water to help the kidney function well.
Shop of caring for it is avoiding smoking. Exercise is also good to strengthen.
Keep yourself clean. And when you're eating, like some people have forms of eating late. Eating late keep your body weak the next morning, and I think one of those things to contribute like kidney failure.
Though the respondents have fair knowledge of what the kidney is and how to prevent kidney diseases, they still need more education.
This is CRBC 105.5 FM, and you're listening to Preventive Health.
Remain with us.
Thank you very much. So we'll just go ahead to why people want to test their kidney at all times. Why would people go for the test?
Yes, it's important. Just like you have the automobiles, and from time to time when people go for servicing, they ask the mechanic that they want to change the oil filter of their car, or sometimes they say they want to change their fuel filter of their car. But in humans, you can't say you want to change your kidney, but there are certain things that can be done to, prevent yourself from checking from time to time what your kidney is doing. So it is therefore advisable for people to pay more attention to the health of their kidney. As we are growing older, the organs in our body, that's the fact, the organs in our body as well are growing older. And it is very good for people to pay attention to these organs, especially the kidney. So, as you may know it, nowadays people are coming up with different kinds of kidney diseases that some would eventually have to result into dialysis, and eventually some will result into transplant of the kidney, of the entire kidney. And it takes a while before this builds up in the system. So if people are not aware that they need to pay attention to their kidney status from time to time, they can end up becoming a victim of a kidney disease.
Let me just ask you this question. What are the different types of kidney tests that are available?
Okay, there are several of them, like the renal profile, the blood investigation, which is most common, which is usually recommended for annual routine checkup for the kidney, is the blood. The blood is not just, the tissue that is flowing around the body. It provides information about different organs in our body. So now, there are different kinds of tests that can be done. We have the bond urea nitrogen. So if someone is invited to a lab and about 5 ml of the blood is taken, and they check for the level of bond urea nitrogen in the blood, it confirms something about the kidney. If the person further checks for the creatinine level in the blood, and it seems to be high, it shows something about the kidney. There we could check for potassium, we could check for the level of nitrogen, we could check for the level of protein in the blood. So these are several parameters that we usually look out for when somebody is doing a kidney profile test.
Okay, so I don't know, I was trying so that we could expand more on the several tests that are available, and maybe why somebody should go for some of those tests.
Okay, well, for example, let me start with creatinine.
Very well.
For example, creatinine is one of the basic parameters which makes up the kidney profile. Now, we have muscles in our body, and the several muscles we have in our body, they depend on amino acid to produce energy. Now, the type of amino acid these muscles depend on, amino acid called the creatine. Now, that's what they feed on. Once they feed on creatine, they convert it to energy. Then they release a waste product into the blood. That waste product is called creatinine. Now, this is a waste product that doesn't have any benefits in the body. So it is injected back into the blood, and the blood takes it down to the kidney. What is expected of a kidney is to filter this blood and extract the creatinine, which is a waste product. Is to extract this creatinine and ensures that the other part, the blood doesn't take that creatinine back into the system. That is what a kidney is supposed to do. But if at any point in time somebody is diagnosed and once discovers that the level of creatinine is very high, and the most unfortunate part is it's people are walking on the street, they are going around their regular businesses, they want to make more money and all that, and they don't know their level of creatinine, for example. Now, if the creatinine level is very high at any point in time, it shows that the function of the kidney is impaired. There's something wrong. The kidney is not functioning well. And if one has the culture of checking, of doing a kind of annual renal profile, the doctor will be able to say, oh, see, Mr. Man, I need to do further screening of your kidney because I'm seeing some parameters here that are really giving me concern. So, but as cheap as these investigations are, people don't know about them, so they don't know the importance of it, and they just go around with their kidney. Then we have the bone urea and the nitrogen. These are toxic substances that are supposed to be within minimal safe limits in the blood. The kidney is expected to filter them as well out of the blood, but if it keeps building on in the body, they would not only attack the kidney eventually, they will attack other organs in the body because the blood will keep taking them round, taking them to the brain, taking them to the heart, taking them in different parts of the body. So it is usually recommended in abroad every year, every person is recommended to do a routine checkup, and this routine checkup comprises of this renal profile. So we are trying to create awareness that these are some of the investigations. This renal profile is as well important. People should pay attention to their kidney health.
Thank you very much. In case you've just joined us, you're on to the program Preventive Health, and today we're looking at renal profile. In case you want to partake on the program, you can call us or send a text message to 0803 6755 958 or 0803 876 5702. Well, I still have with me Mr. Sunday Clement. We're looking at renal profile, and I begin to wonder who should go for this test we're talking about.
Renal profile should be done by everyone. It's funny, everyone who has a kidney.
Very well.
Everyone who has a kidney should go for renal profile to confirm the status of the kidney, both male, both female. That is the best I can recommend.
So you said everyone should, even children. Is it any age bracket here?
Well, a renal profile applies more to adults, but any other person can do it, like children. But children, it is usually by a referral. If the child is probably presented with some kind of funny symptoms and the doctor wants to find out what is wrong, if the doctor is suspecting that there's something wrong with the kidney, a child could as well be recommended for this particular test. But that is on diagnostic ground, that they are trying to find out if the kidney of a child is really affected. But for adults who probably has not presented any kind of symptoms and all that, it is good for them to know that they need to know at any point in time the status of their kidney, if their kidney is functioning well. Like I ask my friends sometimes, and I ask them, how is your car performing, or the engine or something, and they say, yeah, my car is doing well. In fact, the next time I want to buy a car, I'll buy a newest model of this kind of car. You know, at any point in time, people can tell you the status of their cars, the status of their properties, the status of this and that, but they can hardly tell you the status of their health. When you ask them, what is the status of your heart? They'll say, what do you mean by that? Am I a doctor? And you don't have to be a doctor to know how your heart is doing. You don't have to be a doctor before you know how your kidney is doing. You should pay more attention to it. You should visit doctors not only when you are sick. You should visit doctor even when you are okay. Go to the hospital, see a doctor. Doctor, please, I would just want to know if I'm okay. Please, can you recommend some investigations I need to do? You know, this should be the orientation of people. Not that they should wait until they have certain disease or certain cases before they go. And, you know, funny enough, these investigations are very cheap, but people don't know. It's the attitude.
Okay, but in the light of that, how often should somebody go for this screening?
Yeah, it's usually recommended once a year in overseas countries. Usually recommended once a year. And if the person doesn't have any risk factor, if the person is not on a kind of alarm level, the person can do it maybe once in 2 years.
Can someone just walk to a lab to do a test without maybe a confirmation from a doctor, maybe a diagnosis from a doctor?
We usually discourage people from coming to a laboratory without being referred by a doctor. Every citizen of this country has a right to a doctor, and they should visit a doctor first before coming to a laboratory for any kind of investigation. Like for us in our center, we usually discourage people from coming in because at the end of the day, they may not be benefiting so much from the investigation they are doing. So we usually recommend them to see a doctor first. It must be referred by a doctor.
Okay, very well. You must be referred by a doctor to visit a lab so you could test yourself. Today we've been looking at renal profile, and that's test for your kidney. And the resource person has actually encouraged us to at all times see our doctors, because you never can tell what disease is just there in your system and you do not know about it. And early discovery could lead to a proper cure of whatever disease you have. Before we go into any advice with respect to renal profile?
Yeah, my lifestyle advice to people is that apart from these blood investigations, that people need to, if possible, stay away from alcohol, if possible, because people take a lot of alcohol. It doesn't have any nutritional benefits. It just mounts so much unnecessary pressure on the kidney. Then as well, take a lot of water. Either they are thirsty or they are not thirsty, they should take a lot of water, because the kidney has a filter and depends on water in order to perform very well. So they should take a lot of water as well. Then try as much as possible to eat fruits, like watermelon. Take a lot of watermelon, vegetables. Take natural things instead of taking so much of artificial things. And as well reduce the intake of preservatives, substances that are preserved for only God knows how long, and stick to fresh prepared food instead of preserved ones that have been prepared for a longer time. So these are some of the lifestyle tips I can, recommend for people.
Well, thank you very much. We've come to the end of the program Preventive Health. Today we took a look at renal profile, and of course, Mr. Sunday Clement from Asiupo Diagnostic Medical Center, opposite College of Health Technology, Medicine Source Avenue, Calabar, was actually in the house. I'd like to thank you very much for coming on the program.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next week,
We'll be back with another interesting topic. Remember to tune in.
All right, you can text us, send your messages through 0803 6755 958 or 0803 876 5702. Please, we advise you send a text. Don't flash, don't call. Just send a text message what you want to know about the program, and we'll be glad you did. On behalf of the program producer, Stella FM, my name is Erim Ega. Thank you for listening.